Are you ready to fight like a champion, not just in the courtroom, but in every facet of your life? Welcome to the Legal Athlete Podcast. I'm Jess Sargis, your host, high-performance speaker, and coach for trial lawyers. With over 22 years as a trial attorney and legal exec, and an undefeated record as a former MMA fighter and boxer, I know what it takes to thrive in high-stakes environments. I also know that in both the courtroom and the cage, you're only as good as your wins. That's why I'm here to help you develop a fighter's mindset, discipline, and strategies so you can master your mental game and execute under pressure to win more and burn out less. Every week, I fuse insights from elite athletics, legal pros, and cutting-edge neuroscience and sports psychology to help you perform at your peak under pressure. So whether you're looking to reinvent your practice, your mindset, or your life, this is the podcast for you. It's time to become a legal athlete. Let's get it. Hey friends, welcome back to the Legal Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jess Sargis, high-performance coach, keynote speaker, and Ivy League trained attorney turned undefeated MMA fighter. And this is the show where we take the mindset secrets of elite athletes and use them to help lawyers and high achievers like you lead, perform, and live at your highest level. Today, we're talking about something that might sound simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools in a high performer's mental arsenal. It's how you start. Specifically, what gets you started, moving from stillness to action when fear, overthinking, or inertia creep in. I'm talking about action triggers, or metacognitive starting rituals. What they are, how they work, and how to create one that flips the switch from hesitation to execution. Let's go. First, the psychology of getting stuck. We've all been there. You've got something important to do, a call to make, a workout to start, a brief to write, but you hesitate, you stall, you scroll. This isn't laziness. This is your brain protecting you from perceived discomfort or threat. Neuroscience shows that before we take action, our brains run an internal cost-benefit analysis. And if there's fear, perfectionism, or uncertainty in the mix, your brain is going to flag it as unsafe and keep you in pause mode. This is where we lose momentum and focus, not because we don't care, not because we're not hardworking, but because we haven't trained our brain what to do next. One of the methods that is highly effective in doing this is to use a trigger, or again, in scientific terms, your metacognitive starting ritual. This is a word, phrase, and or physical action that helps you propel yourself into action before self-doubt and overthinking takes over. Put very simply, a metacognitive starting ritual, your trigger, is the word, phrase, and action that tells your brain it's time to begin. It's the mental and physical signal that shifts you out of thinking and into doing. So what exactly is it? Metacognitive starting rituals, action triggers, they involve intentionally setting up a routine or a sequence of movements and verbal cues to promote self-awareness, self-regulation, and improved cognitive performance. These rituals can be used at the beginning of a task, activity, or day to establish a mental state that is conducive to focus, learning, or problem solving, and to shift from stillness or readiness to action. What's most important is that they're personalized rituals that help you prepare to act and break free of analysis paralysis, doubt, and procrastination. In sports, it's easiest to see your favorite athletes who are using them. These athletes and their coaches have developed and consciously use trigger routines that precede and enhance their performance. In fact, athletes and fighters you might often see slapping their legs or bouncing in place, shaking out their arms, or even saying a short phrase to themselves out loud before the bell rings. Even the military uses them, like when Marines shout "oorah" in response to commands or engaging in an action. These rituals are most often both physical and verbal, like a baseball batter who unvelcros his batting gloves and then revelcros them while saying one pitch at a time to himself. That's not OCD, my friends. That's an advanced mental performance technique, and it is a killer competitive edge. But it doesn't have to be confined to a sports field or a boxing ring or a batting cage. Mel Robbins uses for hers the 5-second rule. She counts down from 5 and then physically launches herself into action. Ed Milet, he uses a trigger phrase like "I'm fired up" with a snap or a clap. Why do these work? Because they interrupt the hesitation loop and redirect conscious attention to the present moment, to intention and action. The magic isn't in the words or the action, it's in the repetition and ownership, and then the self-trust that you generate when you keep your promise to yourself that you must spring into action as soon as you perform that starting ritual. Here's the truth. Even elite performers feel fear. But fear isn't the enemy. Inaction is. Any honest fighter, MMA, boxing, or otherwise, will tell you that they always feel fear before a fight. But the most successful fighters will also tell you how they use that fear and manage it to move forward with confidence anyway and take control of their destiny. I've felt it in the cage. I've felt it walking into the courtroom. I've even felt it stepping on stage. The difference isn't whether fear shows up. It will. The difference is in what you do next. Fighters have been very adept at learning to use fear as fuel. The adrenaline sharpens your focus. Nerves, they mean you care. Elite fighters take it one step further. They flip the script and view fear as excitement and challenge as fun. Your metacognitive ritual becomes that bridge for you between fear and focus, between planning and performance, between self-doubt and self-trust. For me, my personal phrase, you may have guessed, is green light. It's the same metacognitive starting ritual, the same trigger that I used in my days of fighting in the cage. It connects me instantly to my identity as a fighter. It means I'm unleashed. It converts fear into readiness and anticipation. It never fails to bring the same excitement that the phrase always used to give me before a fight, and it is still the tool I use over and over to help me convert apprehension to anticipation. It takes "can I" into "I can," and "I have to" into "I get to." And every time I say it, I remind myself, this is an opportunity to make the most of my one wild and precious life. So if you're ready to get started to create your ritual, here's how you build your own metacognitive trigger. First, choose a phrase or a physical action. Think something short, punchy, and most of all, you. It can be something like, "let's go," "get after it," or even something that's fun like, "we ride at dawn." Second, you're going to pair it with a repetitive cue, something like a snap or a clap, deep breath, or a power pose. Use it every time you hesitate on something meaningful and make a promise to yourself that when you use it, every time you must act immediately after that. The more consistent you are, the more your brain will associate that trigger with momentum and deepen your self-trust, the bedrock of self-confidence, because you keep your promises to yourself. Third, practice this on small wins. Don't wait for a huge moment. Use it to get out of bed early or begin a workout, even fold that laundry piled in the corner, or make a customer service call and interact with an automated menu. Build trust in the ritual. Get the reps so that process becomes ingrained. And finally, the power tip, fourth, link it to your purpose. Connect your phrase to your identity and your core values. Who do you become when you break through paralysis and take action? Let the ritual be your reminder and your connection to that purpose. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't need to wait until you feel ready to take action. Momentum so often comes after action. You just need to start moving. The mindset of a legal athlete isn't about being fearless. It's about being trained to function alongside that fear with unshakable self-trust. And part of that training is knowing your start signal. The words or actions that flip that switch for you in your brain and say, it's go time. Your life, your work, your goals, they all need a champion who can move through and with the fear, not wait for it to disappear. So, what's your trigger? If you don't have one yet, try one on this week. You can even use mine. Say it with me. Green light. Let's go. I'll see you next time. And if you like this show, be sure to leave a rating, review, and comments. Thank you for joining me on the Legal Athlete Podcast. If you're ready to take your mental game to the next level, let's connect. Want me to speak to your group or team? Or are you ready for one-on-one trial fight camp coaching to perform at your best when it matters most? Reach out to me with a direct message on LinkedIn or through my website at thelegalathlete.com. Until next time, remember that the best version of yourself isn't some future version. It's the you who makes your daily choices. So make great ones. Make the ones that keep you on that champion fighter journey, building a record and a life you love.